It's very important that we as a country, as a people, make the decision on why we had the financial collapse. Why does it come about? And if we don't pin a major part of the blame on the Federal Reserve, we're going to fail. In the Depression, they said it was the gold standard and too much free enterprise that caused our depression. Today, they're saying the same thing. Too much free enterprise, that capitalism and all that other stuff. There was too much crony capitalism is what we had. You know, we're going back to Congress, not this next week, but the following week, and I'm sure they're going to spend some more money. We were off the month of August, but we had to go back. A Speaker of the House called us back and said, emergency, emergency, $26 billion, come back. And we all flew back, was there for an hour or two, and they voted another $26 billion. But he asked me how I voted. If you have to ask, you don't belong here. The bailout and the spending is bipartisan. Everybody knows that. But now it's a political football, back and forth, who are the biggest culprits. But rarely do they mention the Federal Reserve and this problem really starting. I think the big bubble that we're unwinding has first started in 1971 after we delinked our dollar from gold. But I can't go into that completely. But I want to talk about this bailout. If you add up the dollars the Congress spent and the money the Fed, you know, without congressional consent, without any knowledge, without any auditing, they created $2 trillion, that's all. $2 trillion, they passed it out to their buddies. What did they do? What did they buy for us? Oh, they bought up all these illiquid assets. Illiquid means worthless. So they did over $2 trillion, and the Congress passed the rest, so $3.7 trillion. And that's about 3 years now. The big question is, what do we get for it? And they're wondering, well, why isn't the economy doing well? Well, all the money went into the pockets of the bankers and the corporate giants, the internationalists, and the people didn't get anything. You'd think it would give a little boost since they decided, well, they're worrying about a double dip. But don't worry about a double dip. We're in one big dip and it's straight down. Just because they can give you a government statistic where they're pretending the economy's improving, they said, oh, the GDP went up a little bit. Well, of course, you know, GDP, if they spend more money on the military, the GDP goes up. But how do you benefit if they build a helicopter, send it overseas, and it gets blown up? I mean, it doesn't raise your standard of living. But even in spite of this, with $3.7 trillion in nominal terms, the GDP went up $100 billion. That's very, very small. In real terms, the GDP went down. $3.7 trillion out the window. The people suffered. The special interests pick up the pieces and they get the money. That has to stop, or the people are going to eventually get very angry about what's happening. And I'm afraid... when the people get a lot angrier will come when the dollar quits working. And what they're doing is practically guaranteeing that our dollar is going to quit functioning. There is no history throughout world history where a fiat currency lasted for long periods of time. But, you know, gold's been around for a while. They've used gold ever since their recorded history, and it's still money. So eventually paper money will fail. But the bubble is bigger than ever. It's worldwide. It's based on the dollar. There's an illusion about our strength, which is fast disappearing. But they still trust us as an economic power and a military power, and that all conveys trust into the currency. But they're gradually moving away. China will move away. In Malaysia, they have already started a parallel standard. They're using gold coins. Paper money's coming to an end. That is when our job is going to get a lot tougher. You better hope that each of you can round up another 100 or 200 or 300 individuals that will be converted to the principles of liberty, because we need more and individuals who understand this in order to put it back together again properly.